Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to network. In this video, we're going to hit certain points. We're going to go over why networking is still a valuable business strategy, even in 2019, even in a social media and digital marketing era. That face-to-face connection can still really crush it for your business. We're going to go over how to avoid being the guy that you don't want to be, who networks all the time, who's the politician or the glad hander, as I like to call it. You don't want to be that guy. We'll go over how to avoid that. We're also going to go over how to get your local networking groups to actually seek you out. Once you start doing this stuff, you're going to actually be sought out as a member of networking groups. This has recently started happening to me, and it's been fantastic. We're also going to go over how to handle referrals. That's a big thing in networking groups, is you trade referrals. I'm going to talk to you about how to handle that, conflicts of interest between two people who you know who do the same thing. We'll cover all that. And then at the end of the video, as a bonus, we're going to go over how to, when you're networking, get the attention of every single person in that room. You're going to be the center of the energy, and you're going to absolutely crush it. So in this video, it's going to be, this is not like a mainstream shake, bring business cards. You should have business cards, but it's not going to be shake every hand in the room. It's not some mainstream watered down crap, frankly. This is very nuanced and very detailed. So I really need you to lock in and pay attention. If you execute on what I talk about in this video, you're going to get massive value out of it. It could potentially change your business. Your business could double in size next year if you just implement these they're little tweaks. It's not anything crazy. You don't have to go sell your house or anything. It's nothing wild. Little tweaks, little distinctions that I'm going to help you make that are really going to bring you massive value and change your business. So let's jump into it. So when I say the word networking, let's go over what probably comes up in your mind when I even utter that word. There's a lot of baggage that goes on with networking, and it's because it's been, and this happens with anything that's super effective, but over the years it's just picked up a lot of baggage because people use it for things that it's not intended to be used for, and that can confuse a lot of people as to the efficacy of networking. So when I say networking, you probably picture a room of uncomfortable people all dressed in really stuffy attire, like suits and ties and business shoes, and wear the right shoes. And it probably brings up this GQ-esque, you need to do these 5 tips to be a better networker and give 2 business cards, one for you and one for their friend. And that stuff is all great. But when I'm 25. So when I started considering networking for my business, it was not something that I was excited about. It was not something that I was like, I can't wait to go network. It was like, do I really have to go networking? And I would imagine for a lot of you for you on the other end there, I'm imagining that you're probably experiencing those same things. It's probably like, is it going to be worth my time? Isn't it kind of a big commitment? Are these people going to expect a lot from me, in exchange for what they're giving me in exchange? And I really, since I've started networking, my expectations were totally the opposite of what I've experienced. And so I have increased I've made new friends, but honestly, that's probably the biggest thing for me, because I really like people. And I imagine if you're a business person, you probably like dealing with people, and you probably, you're probably kind of like, there's some jerks out there, but most people, you generally kind of just get along with them, and you're just kind of nice. So meeting more people who are like that, one, has just made me more friends, and I just have more people who I like being around. I just meet more people. But 2, the business changes have been phenomenal. It's just been crazy. So I guess really the bottom line here is, A, it's not going to be what you expect as far as networking goes. It's going to be better than you expect. And B, it doesn't have to carry all of the baggage that you maybe think it does have to carry. So if you're considering beginning your networking career, so to speak, you're looking to get out there, you're actually really gonna start doing it. The one thing that you really just have to avoid is being the glad hander, the politician, the dude who does all of the networking things, but doesn't actually bring value to any of those networking groups. He's just kind of a part of it, and he's just kind of there. And it's clear, you know, it's clear as day when someone is just being transactional with you and they're just trying to get something out of you versus really trying to bring something to the group. So if you don't really understand how you could bring value to a networking group or how it can be a win-win for both parties, let me break it down for you. The way that you do that, it's actually quite simple. There are two things that you need to do. The number one thing is you need to bring fucking value. You have to bring a massive, and this, you know, this is an overarching life principle, but especially in networking, you have to bring value to the people who are going to be bringing you value in return via leads, via, you know, positive word of mouth about your business, all that good stuff. It has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. That's what networking really is about at its core. The other thing that you have to do is you have to focus on depth versus width. You don't, and that goes back to not being the politician or the glad hander. If you focus on building real connections with people, like you actually, the people in my networking groups, they're my friends. Like, I like hanging out with them. We did a kind of like mixer event the other night, and it wasn't a great turnout as far as like people who aren't already in our networking group, and some people in our group were a little, they were a little sad about it, and I was just telling them as we were there, I was like, guys, it's better that we don't have to talk to new, I mean, I would love to meet new people, but in a way, it's better that we didn't have to talk to new people because we got to know each other and our businesses and our motivations even better. So now we can send leads to each other that make even more sense. So that being said, I am a huge fan of the depth versus width kind of principle. And I think in networking, if you really take that on and you commit to getting like deep with people and really building a real connection with the people that you network with, and if you really like them, it's going to be a no-brainer that you would send business their way because they're just your friends. Why would you not want to help your friends' businesses? So that, I think that kind of intuitively makes sense. I want to circle back to the bringing value issue. I know that you're probably thinking, Brad, I don't know how I can bring value. It doesn't make sense. I can't just give away my services for free. How can I bring value in a way that's okay for me, that isn't gonna break the bank, that I can do repeatably again and again, because you have to be able to do this over long periods of time. To build a real business takes time, and consistency is really the key to all of it. So how do you consistently bring value in a way that doesn't just kill you or really drain you too much? And my answer to that would be get creative. You have to be able to, people think that bringing value has to be like some high dollar value. You have to buy this $15,000 Rolex, or you have to buy somebody a new car. Like that, ironically, that's the easiest form and the lowest way to bring value. The higher way to bring value is to actually listen to people and give them your real honest feedback, and also advise them in the things that you know well. That's the easiest way to do it, and it's very high return. People really, really appreciate it. If I spend an hour with them talking about a remodeling project that they're thinking about doing, or whether they should buy a house that they're gonna remodel or just buy a new house, by the way. Remodeling always costs more than you think it's going to, I promise. Stuff like that, like going and really giving people your time and your mental energy and just spending time with them and talking about things and really listening to them. That's the other thing, is just listen to people and actually talk to them about what they are trying to communicate to other people. No one's listening. Like, it's really this easy. The bar is like, wait, I don't want to go out of the shot, but the bar's like down here. And like all you have to do is just take a little like step over it. You don't even have to jump over the bar. You just have to take a little tiny little step. It's like stepping over a curb. And then you're bringing value. People are really going to appreciate you for it. And I think I've already mentioned this like 5 or 6 times, but you're gonna start making friends. It's not gonna be networking in a couple months in. It's gonna be, oh, I go to this Tuesday get together with all my friends. And it's a really good way to get you into an upward spiral of positive results. And it's self-reinforcing. That's the other thing, this shit's self-reinforcing. So that being said, that is how you avoid being the glad hander, the politician. Last point, the reason that we're filming this in front of a Goodwill is because this ain't charity, motherfuckers. Like, shit ain't for free. You're not just gonna go to all these groups and they're just gonna give you all they're like, oh, please take my business. Like, no, they already have friends who probably do what you do. You're not gonna immediately just get all of the business just because you went to the networking event. You have to go, bring value, takes time, upward spiral, all that shit. Okay, so once you've decided that you're gonna start networking and you've gotten into maybe one little networking group and it's going well, the thing that's really fun to do is to get it to where people actually seek you out as a member of their networking group because they understand that you're just a person that brings value. Now, the way that you actually go about doing this is by creating a bit of, you want to kind of create a fear of missing out about yourself. So you need to be doing, I don't want to say like flashy and exciting or fake things. I don't think you should ever be fake. But what you should do is convey yourself in a way that's 100% authentic, totally you, unapologetic for whoever you are. You got to really embrace that. And when you do that, people are A, going to connect with you really well, but B, they're going to want to introduce you to other people. They're going to get excited about working with you, and they're just going to kind of want to be involved in whatever it is that you're doing. And that's beautiful. And really, when you start embracing yourself, this is kind of the moralistic side of it. I like to kind of throw that in because it can sound very, when I say like get people to be afraid of missing out, that can sound very manipulative. But on the moral side of it, when you embrace who you are and you really start doing the things that you want to do, like that come natural to you and that you're passionate about, you do them better. So it makes sense for people to want to be involved. You should want them to want to be involved. So that said, the natural question is, how do you convey it? How do you get people to really know who you are, what you're doing? And the answer to that is content. Now, I've got almost an hour-long video posted about how to create great content. I would highly recommend that you go and watch that. And if you're doing it under the umbrella of your business, you can create content that allows you to network, meet better people that you really want to meet and that you want to be in touch with. Get a little bit of burps here. And if you can distribute it correctly and create enough content, you can create a bit of a buzz around what you're doing that, again, makes people curious and it makes them want to be involved. And you don't have to you don't have to be crazy or flashy. Just showing what you're doing is such an innovative thing. Like I said before, the rant I went on about the bar being so low, in this area as well, the bar is so low. People are very bored. People love when they see something different and something novel. Apollo and I were just talking about that. Novelty is so valuable. So you don't have to be a clown, but you can just be yourself, and people will really appreciate you for that, and they will want to get in touch. Trust me. We've just started the process of really growing the Home Love Construction brand and expressing who we really are as people. And the buzz is only just starting, and it's already getting to the point where it's like, whoa, this is like, I can't believe this is actually working. Like I was at a meeting the other night and somebody recognized me. I didn't know them, and they recognized me from a video I put out, and I was like, is this really my life now? This is awesome. And we haven't even put out that many videos. We put out probably like 70, which I mean, I guess is a lot, but I mean, it didn't take that much work. I mean, it's just like a system. We just do the same thing over and over again. So put out content, be yourself. That's going to be extremely important in the last segment that I'm going to talk about how to really be the center of attention in the room. Keep watching. That bonus section at the end is going to be where you're going to get more value than anything. Maybe skip to it. No, don't really. Keep watching. But being yourself, being authentic, getting a little bit of a buzz around you, that's how you actually get people to want you to be in their networking group, and they seek you out. Most common issues that people have in getting into networking, and reservation of a lot of people, and the reason I kind of understand this and wanted to address it is because it's something that I experience, and I'm sure you're thinking about it. When you get into more than one networking group or business association or organization of people who you like and you're friends with, you're going to inevitably have some business overlap. And the question of how to deal with that it's a valid question. I mean, it's something that I dealt with a lot. I'm sure you are thinking about it. And so here's my take, and one man's opinion, but here's my take on that. And this has gone well for me so far, so I'll share it with you. When someone asks you for a referral for a certain piece of business, the better you can understand what they're really asking for, the better you can refer someone to them. So for example, if you know 2 plumbers and one plumber is a one-man show and he really just wants to stay that way, he's cool with growing his business, he wants it to grow and he wants to make more money, but he doesn't want the headache of hiring new people, running an office, stuff like that. And you know another plumber who is really trying to grow his business and he's hitting it hard, he's trying to get all the bigger jobs he can, he's trying to hire more guys, run more vans, all that. It's gonna make sense to send different leads. For example, if there's a pipe leak under somebody's kitchen faucet and it damages the cabinets and they have to do some pipe repairs, it, to me, would make more sense to send the smaller plumber to that versus the guy who's trying to build a huge company, who you have a friend who's gonna be building a commercial building and they don't have a plumber on the contract yet. You're gonna send that to your bigger guy. So that's one extremely effective way to deal with that issue, is by what I would call screening your leads. And you screen the leads to the person that is the best fit for that person. This is extremely important with realtors. There are so many realtors, and I'm friends with, probably 6 or 7 that I can name off the top of my head. It's probably more like 10 or 15 if I really sat down and thought about it. But realtors each have a specialty. They have an area that they are experts in. They have different types of homes that they are experts in. So if you're worried about the realtor aspect of it, because there is always a realtor in every networking group, because that's an extremely important position, because they know so many people, they touch so many people in the community, that's a linchpin of a great networking group, is a realtor. So think about screening your leads, especially when you're thinking about how to refer to your realtor friends. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can actually kind of cheat a little bit and you can just refer both. If you just refer both people to the person who's asking for a recommendation, you pass the lead on to both, and then honestly, the way the world works is it's a meritocracy, right? So why would business referrals be any different? It's a meritocracy. You referred both of the 2 people. Out of the hundreds of businesses, the person whose business you were referring got the 2 names of the 2 people you're associated with most closely. Then the merit of their different product offerings wins, whoever is the better person. And if anyone takes offense, here's the other big issue, is when you're worried about this issue, you're worried about what happens when somebody asks me about it, what happens when they bring it up and it's an awkward situation. If someone brings that up and you tell them that you referred 2 companies to that whoever was asking for the recommendation, and your friend or your colleague is butthurt about that, or they're upset about it, dig into why they're upset about it. Are they upset because they're worried that their business is not gonna grow organically? What does that say about the service that they're providing if they're that worried about one lead? Anybody who's worried about one lead, frankly, is not gonna grow their business. It's that simple. So those are really the 2 key strategies that I've used and that you can use to avoid that awkward situation of, I don't know who to refer this to. Think about screening, and then when you can't screen and that doesn't work, refer both. And then keep in mind the mindset that I talked about of an abundance mindset. There's an abundance of leads out here. There's so much, especially if you were in Pasco County, oh my God. If you're in Tampa, the Tampa area in general, oh my God, it's going crazy here. We can't do all the work. Like, we're getting so many leads now, I have trouble getting to appointments for estimates. So, I mean, being able to do all that work, I'm not gonna be offended if somebody takes 1 or 2 of their leads and sends them to some other remodeling company, as long as they're good and they're licensed. I have no issue with that. I mean, because the meritocracy is gonna win in the long term, and multiple people are gonna be able to win in each space. Now, that brings me to my last point, which is once you're established, you're doing the networking thing, you're having success with it, you want to take that next step to be the guy in the networking room. You want to be that guy who everybody, they're hearing stuff that you don't even do and they're trying to refer it to you just because they want to bring value because they like you so much. That is a huge hack, and we're gonna jump inside real quick and I'm gonna break down our bonus segment on how to become the center of attention, the guy in the room. So let's jump in. Okay, so the part of this that gets me the most excited is how to make you the center of attention in whatever room that you're in. So in the networking room, there's always one person that everybody just kind of gravitates towards. They're, you might call it, they're the center of the energy of the room. They kind of, if they want to, they kind of control the crowd a little bit. And if you're not that person, there's no reason you can't easily become that person. Again, I keep going back to this. The bar for this is so low, so I'm going to teach you how to do it. So the number one thing to understand is that in order to garner other people's attention and have other people be curious about what you're doing and be the center of attention, is you have to be yourself. It's actually that easy. And I know that's very high level, very mainstream GQ magazine advice, but that's really what it boils down to. So if you're thinking here's a more specific thing of what it comes down to. Whatever you're thinking, if you just express it and are honest with the people around you, they will love you for that. If you're thinking of a joke that, might be a little borderline and you really can't force this, it has to come up organically. If you're thinking of say a funny joke that, might be a little on the fringes, like maybe it's a little bit of innuendo, and you bring it up in a business context. Now you can't be going crazy and being trashy and stuff like that. But if it's just a little playful, just let it out. Just tell people the funny joke. And they're gonna die. I guarantee. This 100% guaranteed, full money back guarantee for the $0 you paid for this video. That will kill people. If you make even just a slightly dirty joke in a business context. Now, don't become this guy, the dirty joke guy. But when it comes up, it's funny. Say it, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, he is so funny. He's just himself all the time." You're gonna continually start picking up comments like that. And what you're gonna notice is you start being excited to go to those events. And then when you're excited, then you're even more yourself, and it's an upward spiral of good, positive emotions in regards to that event, whatever your weekly get-together is. And then you get more business results because people like you more and they connect with you because you're just being yourself. So that's one little part of it. I want to kind of also go into now again, I'm always a little hesitant to bring this up because I don't want it to be misconstrued as gimmicky, and people, when they hear advice like this, tend to go the gimmicky route with it. So part of my video process is when I start a video, I go, "Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction." That's how I start all my videos because that gets me into that creative, I'm going to shoot a video mode. But it's also a branding thing. When people see me, I want them to be like, "Can you do the thing you do in the video?" I want someone to ask for that eventually. If you see this and you see me, please ask me to do it. I'd die. It'd be so funny. But that's kind of my little thing. I'm trying to brand that as my Brad with Home Love Construction. Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction. So I'm in a networking meeting the other day, and we're doing this is the first time I'm going, and we're all doing our little introductions. We're going around the room. Everybody introduces themselves. "Hi, I'm Jimbo John with Jimbo John's tree trimming service, and we do this, this, and this, and hi, I'm Jimbo John with Jimbo John's tree trimming service." And then he sits down, and everybody goes around, and it gets to me, so I'm like, well, I could introduce myself like the rest of these people, or I could do what I normally do in a video, and probably everyone will love it, and I'll think it's funny. And that's the key. I will think it's funny. Notice that. It has to be something you think is funny, or else it'll be weird. So I stand up, and I go, "Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction. We're a licensed general contractor. We're based in Port Richey, Florida, and we love doing kitchen and bath remodels. We especially specialize in interior residential, although we do offer a full scope of services because we're a licensed general contractor. Brad with Home Love Construction, sit down." I had to have gotten 5, if not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comments from people about, "I love so much how you introduce yourself, great energy, blah, blah, blah." And I was just being myself. I just did the stuff that I always do. So consider that. I hope that anecdote really brought you a lot of value and brought it home for you. So I would wrap by saying, remember that networking we went over why it's important, but realize that it's really just connecting with other people that are like-minded. And if you find an organization of business-minded individuals who also want to grow their business just like you do in 2019, the amount of damage that you can do, and I mean that in a good way, the amount of damage you can do in growing your business is incredible. If you want to really pick my brain specifically on this and get specific as to the real results that I've gotten, feel free to, actually the best way to get in touch with me is to send me a direct message on Instagram. My handle is @Brad_Bashan. Apollo will put that in the video here. And connect with me on there if you want more specifics or want to hear any like specific stories about how it's gone well or leads that I've gotten or how I go about it more in depth. So with that said, I would really encourage you to like our Facebook page if that's where you're seeing this. That really helps us out so much. With every additional like that we get to the page, our content reaches more eyeballs, more people know what we're doing, we bring in more revenue, and we can make more videos. Like, it costs us money to make these videos, believe it or not. It's not free. It's time that I'm taking away. I'm paying someone to record it, pay someone to edit it. It all takes money. So in order for us to keep doing this and do it at a higher level, like the video quality has gotten so good because we've had people respond and people have been liking the page. So join the crew, like the page, help support us, and we will give so much value back to you. It's gonna blow your face off. It's gonna be crazy. Thank you for watching. Hope you really enjoyed this video. And go and watch another video on this page. There's a lot of value here. I'll see you. Peace. Boom.